Radio.
Now, covering both sides of the big issues with the analysis you trust. Jeff Angelo on News Radio 1040, WHO, and the iHeartRadio app.
Gonna be a beautiful Monday. Sunny skies, 28 degrees, 9:52 at News Radio 1040, WHO. Happy holidays to you. We do a lot of segments about keeping yourself happy and healthy during the holidays. What about your pet? Let's talk to pet health and longevity expert Lauriston Crockett on the WHO Newsmakers line. Lauriston, welcome back to WHO in Des Moines. Good morning.
Jeff, good morning. Merry Christmas. How are you?
I am doing great. The reason I contacted you, Lauriston, was this stat. Pet insurance companies say that owners are 92% more likely to file a claim related to food poisoning during the week between Christmas and New Year's. So that's actual quantifiable evidence, Lauriston, that holidays can be kind of a dangerous time for your pet. What do you worry about? What do you want to warn people about during this holiday season?
Well, and they're absolutely correct. I mean, this is a holiday where we have more trips to the vet than any other season, even over Halloween, where we talked about before.
Yeah.
But, we have to be careful when we love having our beautiful Christmas trees. I came home the other day, instead of having an elf on the shelf, I had a Charlie tuxedo in the tree. Yeah. My own cat was up there, checking me out.
Yeah, his cat's in trees.
I'm being watched. Is it the elf? No, it's Charlie. So let's make sure we secure those Christmas trees. And a lot of people do not understand. We love having these beautiful natural trees in the house, but did you know that in the water, we have to be very careful about that because we have to keep the trees hydrated or they become a fire hazard. Mm-hmm. But in that water, you're going to find preservatives, pesticides, fertilizers, and other agents, even such as aspirin, which are very toxic to the pet. So let's make sure we keep that dish covered so they cannot get to it, okay?
Yeah, that's great advice. I don't think a lot of people know that, Lauriston. So you've got a pet, you do put that water under your tree. You're exactly right, but you don't think about, now I've got to cover it as the next step.
Well, true. And then the ornaments, we've got to be careful about that, too, because, Charlie will get up there and play with the ornaments and knock them down, and I got my big boy Max here, and if they fall and they break, we've got glass, they ingest that. That's going to be definitely a trip to the hospital right there, with the glass and things in their intestinal tract. We don't make sure we have a problem with that. So let's be careful when it comes to the plants. It's not just poinsettias, but did you even know that mistletoe and lilies can be extremely toxic to animals?
I didn't know about lilies.
Oh, yeah, and mistletoe too, yes, and especially cats. You have to be very careful. Cats are special in many ways, and so we love them, but we have to be careful to be sure and keep them safe. And, of course, another thing is, we've talked about this before, is let's make sure we don't give them those rich foods, onions and garlic and things like that. Let's make sure we don't have any counter surfing. Came home the other day and I actually have my own dog, Max, doing a counter surf on him. So I told him the elf shelf was watching him, so he doesn't do that anymore.
Right.
But these foods, and people talk about chocolate. Well, it's not just chocolate. There's, a sweetener now that we're using. It's called xylitol, which is just deadly. I don't think you'll be able, if the animal gets into, a sweetener that's in all these cookies and chocolates and other candies and things of this nature, then, that dog's blood sugar is going to crash, and you may not even get a chance to even make it to the vet. They could die right there with you. So please be very careful. Xylitol is being used a lot. You have to be extremely careful about that.
Lauriston, I'm getting a nice lesson in all of this. I'm normally an empty nester, but I have been cat sitting for a week for my stepdaughter. And what I hear you saying, and I'm learning this, is you do have to be extra thoughtful, especially with a cat that does love to climb, although you said your dog was doing a little shelf surfing the other day. But, it's easy
counter surfing, yeah.
Yeah, counter surfing. I mean, it's easy to sort of set things up like a poinsettia on high, but if you've got a cat, the cat's going to get to it. So you just have to have a second thought about how what you're doing is going to affect your pet, don't you?
Yes, and if you're having guests over and everybody's having adult drinks, let's be careful of those when we set them down. We don't want our pets getting into the alcohol. That's not a good thing for them either. So, we just have to kind of think about it. And I want also everyone, we're going to have a Merry Christmas. Let's watch the food intake. We don't want to send a dog into pancreatitis. Don't give them fat or anything off the turkey or the skin. That's really got all the things that are toxic for them. Number one. Number two, when your friends are coming over and they give those puppy eyes, make sure everybody's not kind of sneaking your fur baby something right there. Let's set down the rules, okay? Let's set the rules and keep them safe. And then also getting past Christmas, this is just one reminder, New Year's is coming. We celebrate New Year's with fireworks. Please, let's make sure that we give our pets a safe room. These fireworks scare them. Let's make sure they have a place they can't escape. There's more pets that are lost because they're running in fear. So if we can do that, we're going to have a great holiday season.
That sounds great. And Lauriston, you're always great with some advice that I hadn't even thought about. So Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Thank you for joining me today.
Jeff, you're a blessing. Thank you.
Yep, appreciate you. I just, that was really good advice. And yes, I've had Teddy the cat around the house and probably going to have Teddy the cat through the end of the year. I'm an empty nester, so I'm not used to having a pet around anymore. And Teddy, who's about 6 months old, he's absolutely right. Teddy can be cat in a tree instead of elf on a shelf every once in a while, and also just goes everywhere, climbs everywhere. So everything that I'm doing related to the holidays, I give it an extra thought about how it might affect Teddy. And he had a great point at the end there. If you're going to have guests, you do have to tell them the rules, because, yeah, if your dog gives them the sad eyes, ooh, well, then just a little bit of, no. Absolutely not. Good advice to talk to your guests if you've got a dog or a cat around, or a dog and a cat around. Want to thank Lauriston Crockett for that segment.